जय श्री माताजी। ऑनलाइन उपस्थित विश्व के सभी साधकों का सुबह के ध्यान सत्र में हार्दिक स्वागत है। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी को नमन करके हम सब ध्यान की स्थिति में बैठते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी आज का ध्यान सत्र शुरू करने की कृपया अनुमति प्रदान कीजिए। हम सब सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। अपना चित्त हृदय में लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे हृदय में आइए, विराजिए। श्री माताजी कृपा कर हमारा हृदय प्रेम, करुणा और वात्सल्य से भर दीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी आपकी कृपा में हम केवल शुद्ध आत्मा हैं। तीन महामंत्र, तत्पश्चात श्री गणेश मंत्र।
साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री गणेश साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः।
जय श्री माता जी। संतुलन करने हेतु अपना राइट हैंड पृथ्वी तत्व पर रखते हैं। अपना चित्त ईड़ा नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के ईड़ा नाड़ी पर तमोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व भूमि तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर सामूहिकता की ईड़ा नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। राइट हैंड गोद में, लेफ्ट हैंड आकाश की तरफ। अपना चित्त पिंगला नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के पिंगला नाड़ी पर रजोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व अहंकार आकाश तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर सामूहिकता की पिंगला नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। लेफ्ट हैंड गोद में, दोनों हाथ सामने, चित्त मध्य नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर आप हमें संतुलन दीजिए, हमें वर्तमान में रखिए। अपना चित्त मूलाधार चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के मूलाधार चक्र पर श्री गणेश जी की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए, कार्यान्वित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें अबोध बनाइए, हमें सुबुद्धि दीजिए। चित्त मूलाधार पर श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता, साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। अपना चित्त मध्य नाड़ी से सहस्रार पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे सहस्रार पर विराजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारा आत्म साक्षात्कार दृढ़ कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर आप हमें निर्विचारिता प्रदान कीजिए, हमें निर्विकल्प ध्यान में स्थित कीजिए। जय श्री माता जी। इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में अमृतवाणी आत्मसात करते हैं। क्रिसमस पूजा गणपतिपुळे 1992 पहला भाग।
आज हम लोग ईसा मसीह का जन्मदिन मना रहे हैं। उनका अवतरण एक बहुत बड़ी चीज थी और उनके बारे में शास्त्रों में भी वर्णन है किस प्रकार महाविष्णु का अवतरण संसार में होगा और वो सारे संसार का आधार होंगे। लेकिन धर्म जो है वो विपरीत दशाओं में जाने के कारण विभिन्न विभिन्न दशाओं में चला गया और सब अंधेरे में अज्ञान में डूब गया। इसलिए इसकी जो एक तांता थी, एक के बाद एक इस सुंदर परमात्मा शक्ति के वृक्ष पर जो सुंदर सुंदर एक एक अवतरण हुए थे, उन सब को लेकर के भिन्न भिन्न धर्म स्थापित हुए और इन मरे हुए फूलों को लेकर के मनुष्य ने अपने अपने धर्म बनाकर आपस में झगड़े शुरू कर दिए। ईसा मसीह जो हैं ये साक्षात श्री गणेश का ही अवतरण है। इसकी सिद्धता है वो सिद्धता मैं अंग्रेजी में बताऊंगी बाद में, लेकिन उनके जीवन से हमें ये सीखना है कि ईसा मसीह का जीवन अत्यंत पवित्र था। जैसे कि श्री गणेश पवित्र हैं, वैसे संसार में आकर के भी, संसार में रह कर के भी वो अत्यंत पवित्रता से रहे, कारण उनको अपवित्रता छू ही नहीं सकते थे। ऐसा एक विशेष अवतरण था और इस अवतरण के कारण संसार में एक बहुत बड़ी घटना घटित हुई कि हमारा आज्ञा चक्र जो है वो खुल गया। उनको जो वधस्तंभ पे क्रूस पे चढ़ाया गया, उससे हमारा आज्ञा चक्र खुल गया और ये बड़ा भारी दान उन्होंने दिया। ये उनको करना ही था, इसलिए उन्होंने किया। उनके लिए तो ये सब खेल ही था। बहुत छोटी उम्र में ही उन्होंने ये सब कार्य किया, लेकिन उसका इतना विपर्यास ईसाई धर्म में हो गया कि इससे लोग समझ नहीं पाते ईसा मसीह जैसे पवित्र जीवन को जो लोग अपना आधार समझते हैं वो इस कदर गए बीते कैसे। इसका कारण है धर्म का विद्रूप स्वरूप। इसी प्रकार अपने देश में भी हिंदू धर्म के अत्यंत विद्रूप स्वरूप निकले हैं, जिसमें तांत्रिक लोग हैं और तरह तरह के लोगों ने अपने यहाँ भित्तियों पे, मंदिरों में, हर जगह बहुत गंदे तरीके अश्लील काम किए हुए, मंदिरों को भी खराब कर दिया और सारी धर्म की भावनाएं ही उल्टी सीधी करके रख दी। इस पर हमें कहना यही है कि ये लोग सब इतना कार्य करके चले गए और इस कदर इन्होंने मेहनत की और जो कुछ भी बांधा है वो आपके कुंडलिनी का वृक्ष, उसका सबसे महत्वपूर्ण आज्ञा चक्र जो है ईसा मसीह ने अपने बलिदान से खोल दिया। इनका बड़ा भारी हमारे ऊपर उपकार। I must have said lots of things about Christ before, and how Jesus Christ is related to Shri Radhaji. That he is the incarnation of Shri Ganesha, who was the son of the Adishakti to begin with. But then he was given to Shri Radhaji. And Shri Radha created as Mahalakshmi, as Mother Mary, this great incarnation of Christ. Now for the Western mind, it is impossible to understand how there can be a immaculate conception, because they have no sense at all, no sensitivity at all to spiritual life. We Indians can understand it. It's very easy for Indians to understand, because we had Shri Ganesha created that way. We just believe it, we don't doubt these things. Whatever is said about God is not to be doubted with this limited brain. That's not done in India. But in the West, from the very birth of Christ, they have had arguments with this limited brain they had. And the whole religion, in the name of Christ, is just a perversion. Such a horrible things have been said that is unbelievable. His purity, his holiness, his auspiciousness is never understood in the West. I think those who follow Christianity, how can they be so debased in their moral character? They are all right for their political, their economical, we can say their legal side. But their moral sense is absolutely missing. It's very surprising. Those who are followers of Christ should have the greatest amount of morality. He has said that thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. Such a subtle thing. Even the eye should not have adultery, should not have lust and greed. Such a subtle thing, he has said it. And just think, in the West, people could not follow it because the whole religion got perverted under the influence of Paul and Peter. It's a very serious thing they have done against Christ. It's still going on. Still, this Catholic Church, though being exposed so much, is still going on in India also. All over, it's stupid. This Protestant Church also is going on everywhere. What good name have they brought to Christ? One should see. The first and foremost thing he has said, that you must enter into the kingdom of God, that you must be born again. So it's all mental, you are born again, you have a certificate, we are born again, finished. So this mental attitude of the West is responsible for killing the great incarnation of Christ. I think is another crucifixion. Mentally, you cannot understand spirituality. So they were telling me about brain trust. I said, brain trust in, I can't understand in Sahajayoga. In Sahajayoga, what is the brain trust? Where is the brain? In thoughtless awareness, where is the brain? So this brain trust business might be all right for any other place, but for Sahajayoga I still don't understand what do you do in brain trust. Because some people want to come on the stage and speak, you see, they have a kind of a madness, they can't get over it. So they might be coming to the brain trust, maybe, but it's not brain, it's the heart. It's the heart which has to be opened out. Because with the brain, what we do is all kinds of materialism, all kinds of nonsense has come from human brain only. not so much from animal's brain. You can see if you go to any forest, it's clean, nice, smelling so well. But put one human being there and you will know that this filth, dirt has come from some human being. So as it is, they have made a mess of all the great incarnations, but worst is done to Christ. And I feel what a waste it was. So we must understand Christ in the right sense. He is the eternal child. He is the innocence itself. He is the source of innocence. And He is the bestower of all blessings in all chakras. But that doesn't mean that you are Christians, you should be very proud that, oh, she's talking about Christ. Many I have seen Sahajogis are still identified with Christ, while they have nothing to do with Christ at all. Now one has to understand that how Christ in His miraculous life has shown so many miracles. First of all, His birth was immaculate. Every kind of birth is immaculate. They are beyond sins. They are special people. They may come as human beings, they may come as angels, they may come as anything. They are divine, and we should understand that this little brain of ours cannot discuss about them and talk about them, but is to just surrender and worship them. They are much beyond us. So for the Western mind, it is important to understand that the life of Christ was such a blessing for them that they have lost it, they have wasted it, and they have never understood how to respect it. The whole thing became like a political, economical, nonsensical fraud. I had told you long time back that how we can prove that Christ was Ganesha. And He was the Logos, He was the, what we call is the Brahmanad, the first sound. By looking at your left side from the right side, if you see the Muladhara, you will see swastikas, because it is made of carbon atom. If you see from left to the right, you can see Omkara. And if you see from down upward, it looks like Alpha and Omega. In those days, Christ has said, I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. And now we have made the animation, we have no arrangement to show you there. I don't know if you could arrange it somehow. But you can see it clearly. What I have said can be proved. So as you worship Ganesha, you must worship Christ in the same manner for all those who worship Ganesha. Because I have seen that Hindus, they are stuck to Ganesha. Christians are stuck to Christ. Even after coming to Sahajayoga, they carry those traits. Ganesha is all right up to a point, and then it is important, we must pray to His incarnation, that is Christ. In the same way, those who worship Christ must also worship Ganesha, because he is the source. He is the potential of Christ. All this was in the divine plan, done with divine discretion. Everything was done so beautifully. But as I told you, human beings are good at massacring anything that is beautiful. And that's how it has happened. It's very, very sad. And on his birthday today, we have to decide that he is to be born within us again in a proper way. That he is the Alpha and the Omega. At that time of his time, I didn't know that anybody knew about these symbols. These symbols also must have come from unconscious to some of the great mathematicians in long time, and that's why these symbols are used exactly like Alpha and Omega. You see him clearly. It is so clear cut now in Sahajayoga. We can prove so many things, all tangible. How Christ used to cure people. What did he do? It's all tangible. We can prove it now in Sahajayoga. How it works out. How these powers work out. But we have to first of all cleanse our lives. We have to lead a very honest, powerful and pure life. I have seen those stalls outside. I told them not to put up any stalls here, because they are making profit for themselves, not for Sahajayoga. Once Christ saw like that, and he took a hunter and hit all of them. No, I can't do that. One should not encourage these people. It's not a shopping center here. You have come for meditation. It's all right if you need anything. We have bought things for you. If you buy them, there might be little profit, may not be, but that will go to Sahajayoga. It's not going to be used for any private purpose. But these people from outside come and put up a stall and you all run about. Means you are still hanging around with that thing. You have come here for what? One should be all the time meditative in Ganapatipule. All the time. You should be in a meditative condition and shouldn't get to these mundane things which you always do, outside also. But these people know that you still have those weaknesses, that's why they have put up the stalls. Leaders should stop all this nonsense. I have told not to eat outside. Last time all of you suffered because of that. But still the stalls are on. That means they know there are some culprits who would like to buy things from them and get sick and bring bad name to Sahajayoga. So the first thing of Ganesha is that wisdom. And that wisdom we see in the life of Christ. From the very beginning, he was so confident of it, that at the age of 12 years, he went and talked to these Parsis, means the people who were priests. We still have priests and mullahs and these bhajis and all of them, these so-called dharma martandas all over. But he went and argued with them at that young age. And he must be saying, what are you doing here? What is this? What are you talking? All lip service. He was discussing and talking to them, but his parents perhaps were frightened that these people might kill him, so they brought him to India. He came to India for wisdom. I don't know where is that wisdom missing now from Indians. But must be this country was full of wisdom when he came and stayed in India. And we have lots of memories about him. Even the King Shalivahana met him. Is described in his book that he met a man in Kashmir who was very saintly, and he asked him, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Isa." See now, imagine, Isa. E is the word used in Vedas for the Adishakti. Sa means with. He said, "My name is Isa." He said, "From what country you come?" He said, "I come from a country which is foreign to me, and this is my country." So this India, the Bharat, the Hindustan, was the country of spirituality. And one should not try to compete and feel inferior to other countries who have gone up materially higher. You don't know where they are. But we should be spiritually higher. That's what Christ said. This is my own country. It's clearly written. That means Christ recognized that this country of spirituality is his own. So we belong to that country of spirituality and not to the materialistic or to the mundane or the baser type of life. In his lifetime, which was so very short, whatever he has said, every word is great. But as I told you, that this Paul tried to completely change, re-edit the Bible, and he's put lots of things in there. Whatever weaknesses he has put them nicely. Now recently I have got a book which was hidden in a jar in Egypt for about till 50 years. They discovered it. And this book is called as the Library of Hammadi. The place was called Hammadi, where it was discovered. And what Christ has said, what Thomas has written, when Thomas was coming to India, he put all these things. It's very interesting. About drinking, he said, drinking begets debauchery. It's a bad word to use. And while Christians don't know, on the contrary, they think that drinking is allowed in Christianity very nicely. Was he mad to allow drinking? How can he allow drinking, which goes against your awareness? But they thought it was nice. And that's what people have been using as a big attraction, that you can drink in Christianity. So in the other religion, like Catholic religion, you could have only once the marriage. So they have one marriage and 10 keeps. Is all right, allowed. In the Bible is written, only you can have one marriage, you cannot divorce. So do what you like. No sense of morality. And everything came like a derailment towards themselves. And they accepted one after another all kinds of nonsense. And the basic thing of Christ's life is morality. He is on the left side, as you can see from Shri Ganesha. And then he establishes himself at Agya. But morality is the essence of his life. What we call in Indian language is character. Our character is how we lead a life of purity. We indulge into all kinds of nonsense. I mean, if you go to the West, you will be amazed what things they do. I mean, you cannot even believe it, and I cannot even mention it to you. You won't believe that these so-called advanced countries are advancing towards what? Impossible. We cannot conceive it even. Such an impurity, such a horrible, destructive immorality. And I don't know from where it comes. I think something wrong with genetics. From where do they get these ideas? One after another. It's impossible to believe these people doing all these things and then nicely dress up and go to church on Sunday, pray to God and come back. Now it is for you to decide. You have to pull out all these people in your own countries. And you have to tell them, this is all nonsense in the name of Christ and in the name of God. You have to come up and talk about it. Same about Shri Ganesh. I have seen in Pune, I was surprised, there was Ganesh Mahotsav. Everybody was drinking nicely. The horrible dirty songs, some western songs, some horrible cinema songs put up there, and everybody was using it as a disco in front of Sri Ganesh. Sahajayogi should go and object to this kind of a nonsense that how could dare they drink in the presence of Sri Ganesh? No wisdom of Sri Ganesha, no respect for his auspiciousness. Now, not only drinking, doing all kinds of things. Sri Ganesha has been shown by these tantrikas as something so horrible, which is also done by so many psychologists, so-called, in the West. Thank God one of them is Mr. Freud, is exposed now. So the another quality of Ganesha is shown in Christ's life is the devotion to Mother. In that book, Mary is telling them about knowledge. But this Paul objects to it. And she says that this is what you have to achieve. But he doesn't want to. He's arguing with her. But then Thomas said that what Christ has said on the cross, behold the mother. She is the mother of Christ, and how dare you insult her? But just the opposite, Paul never respected women, so he called her as just a woman. No respect. For Mahalakshmi, no respect. Can you imagine? Just a woman. And a big controversy going on these so-called advanced people, whether the women should be ordained as priests or not. We think we are very backward, but I think they are so backward in religion. Nonsense. We had Gargi, Maitreyi, such people here. And we respect the mother as the Adi Shakti. She is the one, we call her, the one who has created us. She is the one who looks after us. For us, she is important, Shakti is important. They don't call her Shakti, but a woman. And supposed to be very advanced people. And all other nonsense they do in the name of advancement, it's impossible to tell. So my words fall short, feel so ashamed in the name of Christ. Today now when we are celebrating the pure life of Christ, He came on this earth. They can't believe that He could have been so pure. A criminal cannot believe that others could be non-criminal. So we have to, within ourselves, see if we have developed that purity of mind that expresses through our eyes. Eyes have to become innocent. Otherwise they have no effect. If you are hankering after attracting other people and charming other people and all that, you are not a Sahajayoga. There's no need. Once the light is within yourself, people will know. As Sahajayogis, you have to have the light of Christ in your own life. He was a young man who came on this earth. And how he did. He had nothing to do with Mary Magdalene, who was a prostitute. But he stood by truth. And when people started stoning her, he stood up and said, those who have not committed any sin can throw the stone at me. What a strength of truth. So, not that only he was a pure personality, but purity also is expressed in truth, and his compassion and love. Such compassion he has expressed. Such compassion. I think Sri Ganesha got a little transformation. Sri Ganesha is definitely very compassionate to people who are worshipping him. But those who go against them, he hits them hard. He doesn't spare. They have to suffer. AIDS, this, that, everything comes. But those who are pure people, Sri Ganesha protects. But Christ is compassionate, he forgives. Because he believes that there could be a transformation. At the level of Sri Ganesha, he thinks it's better that let them be killed and be born again, because they're so impure. But Christ had hopes that he can transform people, but he could not. They crucified him. What wonderful people they must have been to crucify Christ. Brainless, we should call them. Absolutely without any understanding about spirituality. Very insensitive to true knowledge. So for Sahajayoga, only the wise can follow. It is not meant for stupid, idiotic people, nor it is meant for very smart ones. Some people think they are very smart because they are successful in life, they can say some smart sentences, they can say something very outstandingly, very sharp. It's not meant for that. For that Christ has said, meek in heart will inherit the earth. Meek in heart. Not those who think too much of themselves, but who are meek in heart will inherit the earth. Among Sahajogis also, only those who are meek in heart will inherit the blessings of Mother. You have to be meek. You have to be wise. With wisdom, you will become meek. Because then you will see where are we into this great cosmos. That you will feel that you have entered into this kingdom of God. For what? How? How have we come here? How have we entered here? So many tried, thousands of years, sacrificing this, sacrificing that, standing on their heads, fasting. How is it suddenly we got this blessing? How are we there? When we start looking at this, we become meek. It's the blessing, it's the grace. It's not through our ego, through our conditioning, but it's just the grace, the compassion, the love, the sandra karuna. And then you enjoy your transformed life, the new dimension of spirituality. Which is in
जय श्री माता जी, कृपया ध्यान की स्थिति बनाए रखें। जय श्री माता जी। श्री आदि शक्ति मंत्र। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री आदि शक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। आरती की तैयारी करते हैं।
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने लिए अवतार माँ, कितने लिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको माँ, सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ। लौट के ना जाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ सेवा हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्के साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्के साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी की
जय। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आज का ध्यान हम आपके श्री चरणों पर समर्पित करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे अंदर मंगलता, पवित्रता प्रस्थापित कीजिए। कृपा कर हमारा आज्ञा चक्र खोल दीजिए और हमें परमात्मा के साम्राज्य में स्थित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, श्री गणेश जी के सारे गुण हमारे अंदर भर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, वासना, व्याभिचार और हव्यास से हमें अलिप्त रखिए। कृपा कर हमें नैतिकता में प्रस्थापित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें दिमागी जमा खर्च, अहंकार और आक्रामक प्रवृत्ति से मुक्त कीजिए। हमें क्षमाशील और त्यागवान बनाइए। हमारे अंदर श्री यीशु की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें ईमानदार, शक्तिशाली और पवित्र बनाइए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर धार्मिक दिखावटीपना, अंधश्रद्धा और कर्मकांड से हमें अलिप्त रखिए। हमारा चरित्र पवित्र बनाइए। श्री माता जी, आपके प्रति हमारी श्रद्धा और समर्पण वृद्धिंगत कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपके श्री चरणों पर हमारा कोटि कोटि नमन, कोटि कोटि नमन, अनंत कोटि नमन। जय श्री माता जी। सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। जय श्री माता जी। आज के कार्यक्रम, आज शाम का ध्यान ठीक 7 बजे प्रतिष्ठान पुणे यूट्यूब चैनल पर लाइव प्रसारित होगा। आज का ध्यान सत्र यहीं पे संपन्न होता है। अब हम सहज संगीत का आनंद उठाते हैं। आज का दिन सबके लिए आनंदमय, मंगलमय रहे। जय श्री माता जी।
आईच्या नामाचा गजर होऊ दे, आईच्या नामाचा गजर होऊ दे। निर्मल नाम बोला बोला, निर्मल नाम बोला, निर्मल नाम बोला बोला, निर्मल नाम बोला। आईच्या नामाचा गजर होऊ दे निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
तूच माय बापा तूच अनंता तूच माय बापा तूच अनंता तूच अंतरंग जाणीयाले तूच अंतरंग जाणीयाले तूच अंतरंग जाणीयले आईच्या नामाचा गजर हो दे निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
निर्मलाचे नाम आहे चार धाम निर्मलाचे नाम आहे चार धाम पावे तीर्थस्थान जाणीयाले पावे तीर्थस्थान जाणीयाले पावे तीर्थस्थान जाणीयले आईच्या नामाचा गजर हो दे निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
तूच प्राणनाथा तूच दीपज्योत तूच प्राणनाथा तूच दीपज्योत तूच विश्वरूप जाणीयले तूच विश्वरूप जाणीयले तूच विश्वरूप जाणीयले आईच्या नामाचा गजर हो दे निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
तूच स्वरनाद तूच लयताल तूच स्वरनाद तूच लयताल तूच शब्दगीत जाणीयले तूच शब्दगीत जाणीयले तूच शब्दगीत जाणीयले आईच्या नामाचा गजर हो दे आईच्या नामाचा गजर हो दे निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला
निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल नाम बोला निर्मल नाम बोला बोला निर्मल
चली सहज की नैया, ओ चली सहज की नैया, ओ मैया पार करा दो, पार करा दो। चले सहजी दर तेरे मैया, ओ चले सहजी दर तेरे मैया, ओ मैया पार करा दो, पार करा दो। बिन मेरा कोई न दूजा, हे श्री निर्मल माँ। देख लिया ये सब जग झूठा, हे श्री निर्मल माँ। तुम बिन मेरा कोई न दूजा, हे श्री निर्मल माँ। देख लिया ये सब जग झूठा, हे श्री निर्मल माँ। ज्ञान ध्यान की पूंज दिया अब, ज्ञान ध्यान की पूंज दिया अब, जीवन सफल करा दो, जीवन सफल करा दो।
चली सहज की नैया, हो चली सहज की नैया, ओ मैया पार करा दो, पार करा दो।
कण कण में माँ तू है समाई, तू है आदि शक्ति। तेरा दिया है सब कुछ हमको, तू है महाशक्ति। कण कण में माँ तू है समाई, तू है आदि शक्ति। तेरा दिया है सब कुछ हमको, तू है महाशक्ति। अपने निर्मल वाणी से माँ, अपने निर्मल वाणी से माँ, प्रेम का दीप जगा दो, प्रेम का दीप जगा दो।
चली सहज की नैया, हो चली सहज की नैया, ओ मैया पार करा दो, पार करा दो।
दिन दुखियों को गम के भंवर से तूने पार उतारा। भटक रहे थे झूठे जग में, तूने दिया सहारा। दिन दुखियों को गम के भंवर से तूने पार उतारा। भटक रहे थे झूठे जग में, तूने दिया सहारा। सहजी आए दर पर तेरे, सहजी आए दर पर तेरे, अब तो दरस दिखा दो, अब तो दरस दिखा दो।
चली सहज की नैया, हो चली सहज की नैया, ओ मैया पार करा दो, पार करा दो।
ओ चल सहजी दर तेरे मैया, चल सहजी दर तेरे मैया।